I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we have the minutes of January 24th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for January 24th.
I'll second that.
Okay. All
How
right.
do we deal with
Any
the
discussion?
changes, the clarifications that Katie said?
I don't think we really have to. I mean, the minutes aren't an exact, it's not a word for word thing of the meeting, and I think
Yeah,
what
transcript.
Maria put in there was covered, you know, that we endorsed it and the vote, and so I think it was all covered. I don't think we have to go into a word for word thing. So my motion is to just approve it the way they were presented. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have warrants 16, a payroll 16P, and a recreation board number 2.
I'll make a motion, we approve warrant 16, 16P, and Recreation Board 2.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Just that, what Charlotte had emailed around to us, they added one other thing for the printing of the town report for
Okay.
$507.41.
$507.41.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, adding $507.41 to the $33,302.58, some of which was going to fuel, salt. There's a ARPA payment for septic line work here at the town office. Green Mountain Power bills, highway department supplies, payroll transfers, and a VLCT insurance payment, along with our sheriff's monthly bill. Any other discussion?
Did you get answer on the recreation board fund, the fundraising? for
Yes,
that?
but that's in the next.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, it's part of the recreation too. Yes, we did. That's part of their GoFundMe.
But you asked if how that was working or something, did you?
I asked whether that was working, and was the money that they raised put into the town funds.
Okay.
So they're drawing off that GoFundMe money. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right. We have public, no, we don't, not quite yet. We've approved the septic repair invoice, and we had allocated $500 of ARPA funds for new signs for the town office and the Historical Society. But apparently, I think it was the Hatch Space made
Yes.
some new signs as a donation, so that $500 will not be spent on that.
Great.
Okay,
Should we send them a thank you?
that would be an excellent idea.
Have Lori send.
Yeah.
The town office
Yeah,
send one?
yeah,
Yeah.
she's,
Yeah.
Okay, right, and if she doesn't want to do it, then
One of us can.
one of us can do it. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's see, public comments, if you're here for something on the agenda, hold your horses, but otherwise. All right, the road foreman's report. Let's see, we got an email a while ago about concern about downed trees on Salmon Brook. And the resident wanted to go ahead and pull them out and cut some more down, and I referred it to Scott Jensen.
yeah. If they're already down, they can go in and cut the trees. But to cut the tree standing next to the water, then they would have to have. But if the tree is already down, which there are a few, if you look up the brook from there, they just need to get permission from the landowner, and they can.
Okay.
Or
I
they
was
can
gonna
have.
say, I don't think the people that wrote the email, the trees were down on the neighbor's property.
Right. Right.
So it would almost have to be initiated by the neighbor.
Right, that's what I'm
The
saying, they would have to go to the property owner
Right.
that owns the land the trees are on.
Right.
But they can go and have those cut if the landowner allows them
Allows
to go
it.
on their property.
Okay, but standing trees would have to get the okay.
Yes, you can't cut standing trees
Right.
that close to a waterway.
Okay. And haven't heard back from Scott Jensen.
I didn't see any emails back from him
So-
either.
I can get in touch with these residents and let them know about the downed trees.
Right,
Okay. Okay. Let's see, we don't have, do we have the agency of
the mileage.
mileage certificate?
It's in
Yes,
the packet.
It's in the highway.
There is there's a spot on there to check if nothing has changed,
Okay.
which we should check and just, so I'll make a motion that we, sign the, mileage certificate.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have that. Okay, the West Village right of way. Shoot. Let's see, we've gotten some different information.
Yeah, I really think what we should do is wait for either the attorney, send it to the attorney to figure out exactly. Somebody's gotta look into it completely from the beginning
Mhm.
to the present. We can't, there's too many different things going out there that have been said, that, different people have,
Yeah.
come up with different things, so I think it's.
Right, and it's important that it get done right and properly. So would that be sending the deeds in question to the town attorney? Or-
Well, more than likely, he would send either himself or somebody in his office up to do the deed research.
Okay,
Right,
all right,
I mean, if we've done, if Lori and Roger have done some research, I'm sure he'll appreciate having that, but
well, my other thing would be is also, before we actually send it to Bob, I would rather wait for Elijah to come in and do a little bit more, so it's less that Bob would have to
Less
do.
cost.
yes.
Right, so let her come in and, take a couple weeks to just go through it, and then get to a point where she feels, Bob would have to go from there,
okay.
would be my,
How's that sound?
Sounds fine. So have her build a folder for them with everything in it.
right.
Do you have any comments? Because I think this is what you're here for.
I guess just a clarifying question. You're referring to is to ask for a thorough search to be done to determine if, in fact, any of the properties that border the old railroad bed have deeded right-of-ways.
Or if it's a town road, when it became a town road, when it was actually, given up, because it's still on our road maps.
That's right, so that's also the question?
Yeah, so we want to get from the very beginning, because there's questions whether it was actually even deeded back to the town. It was deeded to the land. We've had so many different things said to us
Okay.
over the years about this, so that's why I think we have to go to the attorney to finally get to the bottom of where it actually.
Well, we are in favor of that clarity being
Right.
discovered. But I guess I had understood from some of the previous select board notes that you were considering it a class 3 road. Is that not the case?
It's on the map as a class 3 road.
But that's not necessarily what you're considering it to be.
It's,
I
yes,
guess on the record, it's a class.
Okay.
right.
But it's not maintained as a
No.
class.
No,
Not all class 3 roads have to be maintained as such. If it was a class 4, then the town wouldn't do anything
Right.
at all to it, but
So your position is this is a wide open question at the moment. We are waiting for
Right.
the research to be done. Okay.
but I don't think the town wants to start maintaining it as a class 3 road or, doing
Would
anything.
make no sense, I don't think.
Right, I think I think it just depends on what it comes back as, and then at that time, it'll be what the select board decides they wanna do with it, whether they wanna continue leaving it as a class 3 road. Do they wanna make it a class 4 road? Do they wanna make it a trail? Or do they wanna throw it up? There's many options that they would have to do, right, or decide they wanna do. So, I think the first thing though is to find out exactly what it is.
Yeah. Any ballpark as to what that time frame would take to get that information?
Eliza is the assistant town clerk, and she's been ill lately, but she's coming back tomorrow for a while, so I think she'll probably be getting caught up and then start working on this. There'll be a new board after town meeting, so I'd say it's still going to be a few weeks
Is there a particular project that would
or months.
have bearing on this? Are you planning a structure if the property ends up not?
At the moment, there's been a civil engineer or someone like that has done a study of a neighbor's property that involves moving parking spaces, and there's a leach field involved. There's a mound septic system that is very, very close to what is now considered a class 3 road. At the moment, that neighbor would like to use, well, the class 3 road or whatever it is, the right of way to access those parking spaces. We don't really know what the time frame is on that, but there's certainly some state involvement with the wastewater permit, and I know our property's been plowed once or twice without our consent, so we're just trying to clarify how it's being used, and some vehicles have been stuck on my property.
And are you
because it's
Kelly? Or
I'm Dave,
Dave.
the son,
Oh.
current resident there. So
I don't think there's, I think to your question, we don't have anything pending except that
Nope.
there have been multiple uses of that passageway that we would like clarified.
Yeah, no,
As-
it makes
as
total sense to
ours.
clarify it. I just
Yeah,
wondered if
and-
there's something that's gonna be held up if this takes a month or two to.
I assume
So-
that any change to the permitting would have to come to you so you would know about it if there was a change to what, I mean, I do know it's, what David references is in the works because I was provided with a copy of a plan, but
Okay.
I'm assuming that's at the moment just a plan because it would have to come to you for it to
It would
change.
have to come to the zoning administrator. It wouldn't
Right,
necessarily have to come to
Right.
us.
I meant, I guess the
Yeah,
town.
the town, right.
Okay, and the zoning administrator is probably going to want the town attorney's opinion on this too. So, it seems to be the way to go.
I know we sent you a letter. Am I concluding that that will be tabled until this question is answered?
Right.
It's in the record,
Okay.
in our folder.
Okay.
It's a good letter.
Well, I thank you. I shouldn't
no,
take,
that's
I
you've been.
should share that.
no.
Okay,
Thank you on behalf of us.
you're welcome. Anything else?
No, but if that's it of our interest, then perhaps we will. Thank you for your time and attention and
Very welcome.
hope the rest of your meeting goes as smoothly.
You're welcome to stay.
You're welcome to stay.
I know, I was looking at
The
these.
budget's
It's
over, so
really
it's not long.
fascinating.
I know that a lot of that class 3 road also is on, well, kind of adjoins Guru Durham Kalsas and Catherine. I forget her last name.
Okay.
Callahan. But, a lot of that involves their property, so I'm sure, I think they're gone till March, but
Yeah, they are.
yeah, but I'm sure they'll want to have some notification about
Yep.
how it's being handled, but I'm sure they'd be excited to not, know what their property is actually being used for. But,
I believe I owe an apology because I think I misspelled Tulsa in my letter.
We all caught that, we weren't gonna say it.
I felt terrible. I was like, ooh, you can't just, now paper copies, you can't delete these, no. But I feel better having said that I know I misspelled his name.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. The highway grants. That's something we don't sign that. That's
No,
going to be
that's for Lee, right?
Yeah, one of them,
transportation coming here for
Right.
the meeting. What's her name? Ms. Berg, I think. Okay, great. Moving on, any other road foreman's business? Okay. Correspondence for information. Is there anything there you'd like to go over? There's going to be more and more correspondence for information, it seems.
well, we got the BCTV new director introduction under there.
Yep, well, let's take that up right now then. You'd like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Johnny Gifford. I live in Brattleboro. I've been living in Brattleboro for about 1.5 years or so now, and I'm the new executive director over at BCTV, so anything that you folks need from us, I'm your point of contact. If there are any issues with what we're providing currently, or if there's anything that you want expanded, or if any of you want to just make any shows with us or borrow equipment from us, reach out to me. Always feel free. But I'm excited to be here. Seeing that we serve so many towns in our region is exciting to me, and I want to get to know each and every one for sure. Like I was mentioning earlier, I just live like 10 minutes down the road here, and have really been enjoying to just sort of get to know the area. I have several friends in Dummerston, so I've been enjoying just the land, sort of, again, familiarizing myself with it. But me personally, I come from a long background of public access television experience. From the age of 13, I was, doing a radio show and helping out in TV shows in my high school's public access station. And I've just been doing it because I love the work. I think it's a really great intersection between community, between arts, between the civic process and the transparency of that, and education as well. So overall, I'm really excited to be here. I see myself staying here for a while, and I hope that we can do everything for you guys that you may want from us, including covering your select board meetings. If there's any opportunity for us to help you with connecting anything online or remote, or if people feel like if you have constituents or citizens that feel like they want to zoom in, or folks that are requesting any sort of coverage of anything, then just be sure to let us know. And we want to help accommodate the town. We want to help you guys out. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you guys have any questions for me, personal or professional, just shoot.
Yes, maybe there seems to be a move in the legislature to make public meetings hybrid meetings, and so that'll be something that we'll learn more about as the legislature goes on.
Yeah, there's sort of we're in a gray area of hybrid meetings being compliant under open meeting law, temporarily because of COVID, but with that, sort of seeming to end, but there's also some talks of making that the norm. Then we have a lot of experience with this. We've gotten it down pretty well at this point. From what I see from all the other meetings we cover, we do a pretty efficient job at providing online access to folks. So there's clarity on both ends for both audio and video. But yeah, if that's the route that you guys want to take, then just let us know, and we're happy to help accommodate.
a little further down on our agenda, we have a BCTV request for town meeting information. And if you have a pencil, and we can give that to you right now.
Yeah, I had called you folks and emailed a couple times just because we were working on staffing for town meeting, and I just wanted to make sure everything was, set and good to go. And if you had any pre-town meeting information, info sessions or anything too, we'd love to know.
Yes, at our next regular meeting, on the 17th, is that right?
21st.
21st, okay. We're, good catch. We're going to have our regular meeting, but then we're going to break for an informational meeting, and have that, and then we'll adjourn that and resume our regular meeting. So that's going to be going on at the community center.
So the whole, even the regular portion of the meeting will be at the community center. Cool.
Yep. And then on Tuesday, let me get the date right, March 5th, we'll be at the elementary school in Dummerston, and starting that meeting at 10 o'clock.
Okay. And is there anything else that you guys would need from us besides just filming and recording? Is there any desire for get hybrid access or a live stream, a live broadcast, anything like that? Or you want to keep it kind of low maintenance, easy, and with a quick turnaround for folks to be able to inform themselves for the vote and everything?
Maybe for this meeting, we'll see what happens down the road.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
You can keep it simple this year. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yep, it's fine.
Yeah, it would be good to learn about what our options might be.
Yeah.
Because one of the issues with town meeting is that people that work can't get there. If we were to do it at night, people that are older may not want to drive at night. Different towns have tried different solutions, and maybe hybrid is a great way to go.
Yeah, I could send you guys over some information, maybe about like how we're doing things in other towns, and maybe some potentially some actual video or audio clips of what that looks like in practice, if that's desired by the
And the
board, and then you can
hardware
make a
requirements that we would need would be of interest. Is there a
Yeah.
big investment to get to that point?
So, from my perspective, no, considering that we have like our own laptops that we sometimes bring to meetings, and so all you folks would need to do is like set up a Zoom meeting ahead of time, give us access and the ability to either host or co-host the Zoom meeting, and then we can just basically connect what we have going right here into a computer.
Okay.
And then, anyone who joins that Zoom call is able to see and hear exactly what, the finished product ends up looking like. And the only thing is that, with one staff member here on camera, we're not really able to like let people into the Zoom call. We're not able to like monitor the chat. So that would be, one thing that, you guys would have to think about and consider. But other than that, all the technical elements of it, we could totally handle.
Great. Okay, any other questions for?
It's a great organization and great service, so thank you for your efforts.
Yeah, thank you. I really believe in what we're doing. And is there a good contact, maybe email, that I could send some information about hybrid meetings to?
Selectboard at dummerston.org, and you might do Town of Dummerston at dummerston.org.
All right.
Okay, got it.
And Todd has been our tech guy.
Our Zoom tech guy with my computer.
Yeah, so if you have any trouble, I'll send you his contact information. You can get to him. Just
I'll be on the select board email, so
yeah.
I'll see it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Correspondence for discussion and/or action. Do we have any Salmon Brook updates?
Yes, I just put all the paperwork into the Salmon Brook folder. So Michelle Lapointe has everything now, which is due on the 22nd. So he's gone through it all. So everything's signed and ready. So the next thing he'll do is submit it, and they'll come back and say yes. And then we'll be into RFP world to get people to bid on it, and talk to Kate Baldwin, who just emailed me. That's who I was emailing back. Who's the executor of the estate. So we can sort out how to want to do her portion of the funding, in escrow or whatever. So, but everything's on pace.
Okay, great. Let's see. Any other Salmon Brook questions? All right. Connecticut River Joint Commission's Partner Survey. Let's see. Who can we get to fill out that?
How about the representative to the Connecticut River Joint Commission?
Do we?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Philip Gepp.
excellent. Let's do that.
I'll text him right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't text him right now though.
But you'll text them.
I don't want to accuse myself. It's my father-in-law, so I will tell him to
Okay.
respond.
Great.
You can just forward that came through on an email.
Or do I get it?
Great. Good. Now to the second page of our agenda. Let's see. Any other ARPA business updates? Okay.
Other than I had asked if I contacted the rec board to see, because we'd authorized quite a while ago that they were one of the first ones,
Yes.
and I haven't heard anything back. And I know there's some stuff with Lee.
That it was all gonna. He wanted that to stay the same because
Okay.
they were gonna. When that goes up, they want to see what
Okay.
they still have to do with the roof.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I did check with them on that.
And I was wondering to sort of make that worksheet a little, just to clarify it, if there was items on there that we were not gonna take any action on, such as like,
Should we?
if I just shift them over to a different, sort of a submit it but no action taken report, and just, that'll clear up a lot on that worksheet, I think.
Yeah.
Just
That sounds-
sort of get it back down to what we're actually working on.
All right.
So one item, we, on the Energy Committee meeting on day before last, we talked about the idea of the Energy Committee or the Select Board using some of the Energy Committee funds to pay for lighting in the town garage. We've done some assessment of improved lighting. Right now they're using mercury vapor, very inefficient, and once you turn them off, you have to wait a restrike delay. So, we got an estimate of cost of, I think it was $6,000 all in, including some labor. And if we determine that we can use our funds for that, that we feel on the Energy Committee that would be a worthwhile use of those funds, there might be a couple of $1,000s additional, and I had suggested that maybe that could come out of ARPA, once we figure that out.
Okay. Going to send a proposal.
Lee was at our meeting, and
Okay.
he's putting bid specs together.
Great.
So we would send that out to get some actual prices.
Okay. Good. Okay. Any other ARPA? Okay, let's see.
Because Maria, after all, what we have allocated right now, where do we stand? Knowing that, we got the $500 back from.
I would say we're probably a little over $14,000 that we can still authorize.
Okay, and that's with the bridge, the covered bridge project.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And the bids are still out on that, right?
I don't know what.
On the covered.
No, we approved that last
Did we?
week.
25,000.
Not to
Oh,
exceed.
Not to
25.
exceed.
Not to
Yeah.
exceed, but we haven't
Yes.
awarded, so.
But the town was gonna do a lot of that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
yes.
with,
All right.
the town's gonna do that with, the help of, Dan Jenks.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
So that was, yes.
Yeah, so if something like that comes in way under the 25,000, that would just give us that much more
Right.
that we could still
Well,
allocate.
They want this allocated by
Well, they really wanted allocated it by the end of March.
that, yes,
But-
that's,
Technically, we have until the end of this year to allocate.
but I was just thinking with that lighting project that you're talking about, so we do have money in there to do something like that project.
Right. Okay, we're going to have a public hearing that is going to start at 7 p.m. And on some zoning bylaw changes. So we're going to recess this meeting and then convene the public hearing at 7. We'll take any public comment that comes in and adjourn the public hearing, and then we'll resume our regular meeting to continue with new business and go from there. So, we have a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion, we recess the meeting for the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ready to
Oh, I'm sorry.
have the public hearing? Okay. All right, we're going to call to order a public hearing for zoning bylaw changes. And we have one bylaw that is regarding landscaping and screening requirements for do you actually, Maria, do you want to give us a summary?
The landscaping and screening are for ground mounted solar panels. And it's just added, just so the DRB can, it's added right to our landscaping, our normal landscaping and screening requirements for development, and this just adds the solar panels, so,
So the solar panels, the addition, I read it today when I was in here.
right.
So ground mounted solar panels had to be
Screened, yes,
Screened.
yep,
by very specific screening requirements.
yes.
Deciduous, evergreen.
I can't
There was a
remember
list
what we,
there.
there was a list, yeah. Yep. And then the other one was, to add,
So you gonna put evergreen trees over the solar panels?
That's next to them. So what drove this?
people not liking to
Not
see
like
the solar
solar
panels,
panels?
yeah, yep. And the other change is we add it to rural commercial district and the commercial light industrial district and air transportation facility. And then we add it, the definition, which is a site or structure intended to accommodate or support air transportation such as a runway, hangar, terminal, control tower, or heliport.
Seems very specific. What drove this?
Uh,
Somebody built a helicopter pad at their house? Or-
We did this at the request of the zoning administrator.
What, did you,
What did Roger, what drove it with Roger? I was curious.
Okay,
But we only allow, it's a conditional use in rural commercial or commercial light industrial, only those two districts,
Okay,
specifically those two.
all right.
okay. Any other questions? All right, any comments from the public? Seeing none, I will call this public hearing closed. And I'll make a motion that we reconvene our regular meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, here we are back at our regular meeting, and we have zoning bylaw changes to landscape screening regarding ground-mounted solar panels and also air transportation facilities. What would you like to do?
I'll make a motion that we approve the zoning bylaw changes to landscape screening for ground-mounted solar panels and air transportation facilities.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah. I almost don't, I mean, I don't see why it's really necessary. I mean, screening a solar panel array seems a little off, doesn't it? I mean, isn't the purpose to have all the sun, all the light you can have on it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to screen it with a tree just doesn't seem like it's the best thing. I mean, I don't know. Nobody came to complain about it. I'm not putting up a solar array on my property, but somebody might, and
Yeah.
I mean,
If they had enough of a setback, it wouldn't cause, but if they don't,
right, I mean,
it's going to make
life difficult for them to do it if they don't
yeah,
have the
for
room to.
several rows of.
I mean, in the way this country's trying to go is electric and get rid of, fossil fuels and stuff. I just don't see why we're.
So if, for instance, you put up a little solar array in the field down there,
Yeah.
facing south,
Mm-hmm.
is somebody gonna be driving the middle road saying, I don't wanna see that, and you have to now plant trees so that they can't see your solar? I mean, this is all visual, right?
Well, he'll have to with this new bylaw.
Right.
He'll have to plant those trees,
Right.
and for him to plant the trees, it would have to be on the south side of his thing. So he's losing out on.
Both of these seem very specific, right? I understand the solar panel one, the air transportation, I don't understand at all. But it seems something it kind of smells of, like, I don't know if it's true, like two people don't like looking at solar panels. And so they've decided that all this stuff has to be shielded, right? I personally don't mind looking at solar panels at all, or windmills. So it does seem
It's just,
a little draconian. I think if it became a huge problem in the town, there were dozens of these things and it really became a visual problem, fine, let's talk about it. But if it's just one or two installations, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff, any of the bigger stuff,
Commercial ones.
yeah, the commercial ones have to go through all kinds of state, Wyndham Regional, letters of support, not approval.
Mm-hmm.
In the state, is it good for the region? Are they meeting the requirements? Can you see it from the road? A lot of stuff's already covered.
right.
So it seems that both of them seem a little,
Driven some.
it's almost like writing a law. You don't write a law for one person, right? You write it to cover everybody. And so I'd like a little more background on why these two things have showed up.
Now, I emailed Daniel Garrick, who's on the planning committee, I guess. And Maria, are you on the planning committee still? And he replied, getting his response made me feel a little better about it. I had the same reaction Lewis had. He said, the bylaw would only apply to a larger commercial operation that abuts a residence. But it doesn't sound like that's correct.
Well, it may be. But I think any industrial or commercial installation of solar goes through a million steps that don't apply to Dummerston.
Right. I don't see why we need to do either one of these, and that's my feeling on it. I just think that this is being pushed for.
It's a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
That doesn't mean
Perfect
we'll
wording for it.
revisit it at some point, but right now I don't know why either one of these things are. And again, if it is industrial, which I think based on the email probably is, that stuff's already covered. right? I mean, the amount of permitting and licensing that has to go on, what, and that includes
I mean,
removing it after a certain number of years, everything,
archaeological studies.
Yeah. Yeah, us, creating some bylaw, that stuff's gonna be, I think it's gonna be taken care of anyway,
Right.
so.
Okay, so we have both, have a motion for both of these bylaws. Do you want to keep them or do you want to separate them?
I keep them.
I'm happy to keep them together.
Okay, all right. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Of the change?
Yes, making a change. Or adopting these proposed bylaws.
Got it.
Okay, going once, going twice. Opposed?
Aye.
Or I.
No,
All right.
Yeah, I guess we're.
However you want to do it, I'm opposed.
Here you.
Okay. All right. Who is the chair of the,
Daniel.
okay.
Yep.
Would you just send him a note that we did not approve these?
okay.
Have him come visit if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be interested in hearing from Roger why Roger felt these were needed. Or was Roger that's behind the heliport one?
We've been working on this landscape one for a while. I don't know if he was behind the landscape one, but I do know it was the air transportation.
Okay. All right. Any other comments on this? All right. Any other new business? Let's see, investing in farmland protection.
We held that until after there's a new
Yep.
treasurer.
This is just still on our agenda, just to keep it front and center. We'll be meeting on February 21st at the community center. Our regular meeting starting at 6, and then we will recess maybe at 7. Pre-town informational meeting will begin. Maybe we'll be done with our regular meeting by 7.
We're gonna go over the warrants and the articles.
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
articles and stuff like that. Okay, so, and everyone going to this will be able to see the new improvements that have been made in the community center. And and we'll see BCTV there, so anyone who'd like to meet the candidates and hear the discussion will be able to do that from the comfort
Is
of
it
their...
a business casual?
Yes, business casual,
Tie a jacket or
usual.
something?
Like usual.
I mean, Vermont business casual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vermont.
Vermont business special.
okay. So,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
very good.